Honestly, this is one of the best builds I've used all season. A bit off the cuff, Stasis Hunter, Lament and Renewal Grasps. I'm going to go more into it as we go, but we're going to be able to put out some serious damage to champions, all different types of champions, and on top of that we're going to be able to tank a load of damage as well, because if you look on that bottom left, I've got resist ×3 going on, and I've also got Lucent Blade and a Stasis weapon boost. Stick with me, this build is absolutely insane, all based around Renewal Grasps. Your dust field grenades have a much larger effect radius, allies inside the dust field take reduced damage, and targets inside the area deal reduced damage. So the ideal situation is to trap an enemy inside the dust field grenade and do damage to them, because it works both ways, you reduce and they reduce damage. So Lament is the obvious choice. This sword is still absolutely awesome. You can sort of get used to the combo of it, but it smashes anti-barrier shields. These next two clips now are just a dust field grenade with Renewal Grasps and the Lament just working. Just look at the damage you can take. It's 50% incoming arc damage as well on this lost sector, so, and it's on the hardest difficulty, so you can actually see how much damage you can sort of take. So again, dust field grenades with Renewal Grasps, and you can tank some serious damage like so. It's absolutely nuts. And the way I've got this build set up as well, I'm going to always have the king going on that bottom left, which is your Lucent Blade. You've got literally 100% uptime on Lucent Blade the way I've got it set up, and on top of that we're going to get an absolute crap ton of resistance the way I've got the stasis fragments and the aspects set up to really enhance it. Just one more clip to show you of some damage reduction, and then don't forget you can always block with your sword, and then I'm going to show you the aspects and fragments you need to get some serious damage reduction and put out some serious damage too, so stay tuned. I've got the aspects and fragments coming right up. Now this is the way to have this set up. It's quite important with regards to the aspects and fragments to get the most out of it. Grim Harvest is the most important one, because what that does, defeating or slowed and frozen combatants creates a stasis shard, so that's the most important one. And then Touch of Winter is also pretty important, because what it does is it enhances the dust field grenades, the slow field size, and creates a small stasis crystal on impact. And I know it sounds silly, but if you just look at that stasis crystal part as well as the enhanced area, the stasis crystal part is quite important. Dust field grenade is the one that you need to run for Renewal Grasps to work. You won't go out with any other. Whisper of Chains, while you are near frozen targets or friendly stasis crystal, you take reduced damage from targets. So that's why I went back to that Touch of Winter, because if you read there, that stasis crystal, we're going to be slowing and freezing the targets, and it's going to spawn a crystal the way I've got it set up on the aspects. So you're going to take reduced damage from all targets when you slow them, freeze them, or when you're near a stasis crystal. So that's why I run Whisper of Chains. Whisper of Rime, not only are you going to get the damage reduction, but with Whisper of Rime, whenever you collect one of these stasis shards, it's going to grant a small amount of overshield. And then if you're at full health, it's actually going to give you an overshield, so it heals you and gives you an overshield. Whisper of Joran, slow from your abilities last longer. Whisper of Shards, shattering a stasis crystal temporarily boosts your grenade recharge rate. So that's a really nice one, plus it gives you a nice 10 resilience as well, so it'll give you a nice boost to your discipline recharge rate. And then Whisper of Conduction, nearby stasis shards track to your position. So that's another one, so they can all just track you real nicely and come to you. So Grim Harvest is one of the most important ones. You need to run this for absolute certainty. That's the shards. The shards is one of the main parts of the build. So there you go. I'm going to show you some more clips. Now what I'm going to do is play this clip twice, because as you'll see there, I've got my overshield going, I've got my stasis weapon boost, I've also got my resist ×3 going on, and I'll have my king procced as well, my Lucent Blade. How that's working is via a couple of mods that I've got on. I've got on Elemental Shards, absolutely top tier mod. All the shards that you create from the aspect and fragments turn to elemental wells, and then I run Elemental Charge, which is going to enable me to have a constant uptime on my Lucent Blade, so it's really strong. Them elemental shards, you create loads of them on a Stasis Hunter with your dust field grenades, so you can constantly have an uptime of the Lucent Blade. And then on top of that, you're going to get the healing from the Whisper of Rime as well, so it's a really strong setup. How one shard or a couple of shards can really sort of turn in your favour, enabling you to put out some serious damage with the Lucent Blade. And again, I know Lament is an anti-barrier weapon, but don't forget it still does an absolute crap ton of damage against other champions as well. It's absolutely superb for all champions, not just anti-barriers. And then it's actually pretty good for boss DPS. It was perfect for this nightfall this week, and there'll be other nightfalls in the week where it's going to be really good for, where you can get close. Bit of a pain, this witch. And then on top of that, one of the other bonuses of this build is having Font of Might up all the time via elemental shards as well, because elemental shards obviously turns the shards to elemental wells, so you're always going to have a good 25% damage increase via Font of Might with your stasis weapons. And as we all know by now, there's some serious stasis weapons in our primary slot this season and the last couple of seasons. I'm running Fractalist here, but we've got all sorts of stasis weapons. You can take advantage of that Font of Might as well via elemental shards and elemental charge. So all in all, it's got literally everything in this build. Resistance, extra damage on your stasis weapons, crap ton of damage on your Lament, and you're really tanky with the Dustfield Grenade Renewal Grass setup on the 100 resilience. I've absolutely loved running this last couple of days. I'm going to leave a few more of the clips playing out and then just quickly go over the mods as well, because one of the problems with Renewal Grasps was they sort of got changed a few seasons back, where the discipline on them, the grenade recharge rate, was sort of nerfed a little bit, but I've got a few things to work around it with demolitionist weapons as well. I just wanted to show you this as well, like with regards to Renewal Grasps and Dustfield Grenade, you don't always have to get right up close to something. Obviously that's the best way to do it, but you can actually use them passively like this as well. So just staying in an area like so and taking advantage of resist that way and staying back. So it's really sort of versatile as well. But there is a couple more things I've got left to show you at the end of the video. Basically what Renewal Grasps did, I mentioned earlier on, is they did sort of got nerfed a little bit with regards to how quick you can throw your Dustfield Grenades. I think they had like a cooler on them of like 152 seconds, I do believe, but we've got a workaround of that. As you can see, I've got some weapons and a few different mods I could show you. We can sort of reverse that nerf if you like, and be able to get our Dustfield Grenades up going all the time. So stay tuned, I'm going to show you a little workaround on how to do that. So a couple of mods that I run is Bomber. I run 2 of them, and I also run Grenade Kickstart. So Grenade Kickstart will kick in as soon as you've used your grenade. It goes on Stasis Arms, you get about 10% back, and then Double Bomber gives you about 20 to 30% of your grenade back. So just that little combo on its own is like a little, it sort of reverts the nerf if you like, I find. And then on top of that you can run demolitionist weapons on top of that as well. So there's loads of different weapons that roll demolitionist, so there's quite a decent workaround. And then just in this clip here, you're going to sort of see that I'm already charged with light. That's them stasis shards. Every time you pick them up it's going to heal you. That was just like one little extra bit I wanted to show you, how you can get the sort of chargeable light for your Lucent Blade up all the time. Just this clip again, that shard that you're going to see from smashing that crystal is going to make me chargeable light, and then you're going to see all sorts of buffs going on that left hand side. So anyways, I hope you found this vid good. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have a great night.